something that is extremely important, all right? And being that we're talking parts, we're talking about the car, the state that it's in, and how close we're getting, I feel like this is a good time to share this information. And I actually plan on rolling this portion of the video out immediately. So we have a lot of backlog, a lot of video that we are planning to release, or that we're gonna release, and we're trying to get caught up. We've been videoing for a while. We've been editing and kind of putting them together and rolling them out periodically. But we do want to get caught up. And right now, with this portion of the video, I think it's extremely important to get it out to y'all now and kind of jump those other videos. So not only will you be seeing this portion now, you'll also be seeing it again in the future video as well. But this is important enough to me to actually write notes because there's a lot on my mind and there's a lot that I want to share with y'all. And I'm sure there's stuff that I'm going to miss or that I'm going to forget, but I took some notes here to try and remember everything that I wanted to share with y'all. So bear with me. I'm going to look down quite a bit just to make sure that I'm staying on the right path here. If you're watching this video, most likely, you appreciate the motorsports world. You may be involved with it, or if you've even found this video, I'm guessing you have, or you are. So this resonates with you, and I feel like this is a perfect opportunity to share this information. But I'm asking for your help, really, honestly. And right now, I know we don't have a big following on this channel. We're pretty new to the channel, and we're pretty new to YouTube. It hasn't been around for a long time for us, but and I know we're not professional racers, and we don't build cars for a living, and we're not professional fabricators or anything like that. We're average Joes that have a passion for the motorsports world, and it's something that's on our mind a majority of the time. And if I wasn't passing this message on, I wouldn't be doing my due diligence. So if you're not interested in subscribing to the channel, I want to start out by saying this: if you're not interested in subscribing to the channel or watching the videos or liking, that's totally fine. But if I'm asking with this video, please, whatever you do, help us out and do so. Share, like, pass the message on, and please help us out. So I think we can all agree, currently at this point in time, currently at this state, our country that we live in is changing every day. And there are some things out there that you may question, you may not understand, and frankly, none of us may ever. But I don't want to get political with this. I'm not trying to get caught up in a rabbit hole here. But if you're going to get involved with that, great. We need people like yourselves to get involved with our world and to keep it, the biggest, the best, the strongest country in the world. So be that grain of salt, be that voice. But one thing that I want to challenge you to do, if you are going to take that avenue and that path to get involved with political information and sharing that information and messages and doing your research, so on and so forth, turn the news off. Turn the news off. Get away from social media. Do your homework. Get down in the weeds. Check your resources. And look at it from every aspect. Look at it from every side before you make a decision, right? We have all the right in the world to believe and think that what we want, which is beautiful, which is great, but just make sure that when you're passing that information on, or you are getting involved, just make sure it's the right information, right? You're going to read things that aren't true. You're going to read things that are construed, but if you ensure that you know what you're talking about and that it is factual, then you can be that grain of salt. You can be that grain of salt to better our country and make sure that we're on that right path in that right direction. So please do so. And there I go, getting in that rabbit hole and getting off topic. So our main focus, back to our main focus. Over the past few weeks, my eyes have kind of been open, and it's what we're seeing right here in front of us is that our passion, this stuff here, and what we do, what we love, what we like, is at risk. There's a lot of things that are changing currently in our world, and like I've already noted, but when it comes to the racing industry, it's huge right now, and I'm seeing people affected. I don't spend a ton of time on social media or anything like that, so here pretty recent for me that I have been getting involved and I have been seeing stuff like that. I've been seeing stuff on the news and people that do this stuff for a living that are being affected on a daily basis. But it's at jeopardy, it's at risk, and I hope by the time that I roll this video out, it's all gone, and me sharing this message with y'all is irrelevant, and it doesn't matter. Is what I pray for. But if I don't say something, if I don't do something now, I feel like later down the road, if this sport isn't any longer available, then I didn't do my part. So I'm asking for your help to share this information on to others, pass the message, and do whatever you can to help us out. There are companies out there currently right now that aren't able to, the EPA is cracking down on them, long story short. And there are companies that have been, stopped from not only being able to test and tune stuff, but to manufacture and sell parts. It's stated, I've read, I've heard that they're never going to go after the racing world, or they're not planning to go after the racing world. But if you look between the lines and the finite details, they are, right? What we love to do is being affected right in front of our eyes. And, that goes for any sport. I'm not talking just drag racing, NHRA, Top Fuel, Pro Mod, Door Slammer, diesel racing, right? Diesel pickups and stuff like that. Motocross, NASCAR, Indy, boat racing, monster trucks, rock crawling, all that stuff that we love and we enjoy and we appreciate. And yes, I am biased. I have the things that I love to do and I love to get involved with, but I support each and every one of them. And right now, it's at risk, right? There are people that it's tough to go sell parts. It's tough to get parts that you need. And it may not currently at this point in time, may not be affecting those big name individuals, those pros out there, the people who are making money doing it. But this is just the scratching of the surface, right? And I'm afraid that it could take that direction and go in that direction. And another thing that I think about is my generation and the generations below me that aren't at that level at this current time, right? That have their vehicle, their everyday vehicle that they like to tinker with and make go a little bit faster. They work that 9 to 5 to make minimum wage just to go get that extra part to add a tenth, to gain a tenth in the quarter, right? It's a struggle for them. And what happens when they're not able to get those parts? What happens when those pros graduate and they move on and they want to go home and sit down on the couch and watch the race? There's going to be no generations behind them to fill in. And, it could go away. And like I said, I hope everything that I'm saying right now matters nothing. I'm hoping it goes all away, but I got to say something about it, and I got to share that information with y'all because it's scary and it hurts my heart. There's a lot that goes into it. So please do your part. Please help out. I know there are people out there who, they have vehicles that not only they're not able to drive on the street, but they're not able to go race. When really those vehicles are designed specifically for racing, but they're shut down because it has been stated that their vehicle is a everyday vehicle, but it's a race vehicle. So, just do your part, help us out as much as you can. Let's see, I got off on a little bit of a rant there, so I need to get back on topic. I'm not, the smartest knife in the drawer, but I see it, and, it's right in front of our eyes. And when it comes to, when I ask you to do your part, what exactly does that look like? I'm not 100% sure, right? This is just beginning, and I know it's kind of been around. You've heard the buzz in the past that this stuff could be effective, but now it actually is. And from what I've noticed, it's somewhat recent, like it's actually taking place now and in action. So what does doing your part look like? My suggestion to y'all is just be an example, right? Set a good example for others. And, I'm not saying don't have fun, don't go out there and enjoy yourself. Just be smart with how you do it and where you do it. And I've realized that recently, and I'm going to do my part to practice better. You can see in some of my videos that, some of the things to certain people that have different outlooks and different beliefs, which is fine. They're visual, right? They see something taking place, and they've got an issue, and they're going to note it at that point. So what we can do is just, and I'm kind of skimming over that a little bit without going into specific detail, but what we can do is just practice being an example. Have fun, but be smart with where you do it, and do your best to keep this thing alive, right? And then the other one I'd say is just do research, identify the information, figure out exactly what's going on, and then pass the message to others. So, the last few notes that I want to make is, first off, I've kind of already noted what makes me nervous with this. All this stuff behind me right now. We got the cars, we got the bikes, we got the quads over there, we got future plans. I've been working on this car for over 5 years, and I don't know what's going to come of it, right? I don't know, I believe I'm going to be able to use it. Obviously, I believe I'm going to be able to race it, but how long, and what are the changes, right? What's it going to come of it, and how are we going to be affected? So think about that if you're not directly involved with it. These things have taught me so much, right? And that's what it's going to do in our society and our world today as well. It's taught me patience. It's taught me, it just builds so much character, and learn so much, and you're able to do things on your own. And there's a lot of money, blood, sweat, and tears that have gone into these things, and it keeps us going. I've communicated with people that I've never met in my life, and I've made friends with people that I've never met in my life. It brings us together. People are able to talk, people are able to communicate, which we need more of. You learn new things, you learn how to work on your stuff, you learn to take care of your stuff. Like I said, it's brought so many smiles to my face, and it's brought enjoyment, creativity, ideas, and so much. And the effect, the loss is more significant than any sort of gain with this involvement, the EPA stopping this and shutting down the sport. And we want those people, we want those kids to get away from the video games and get their hands dirty and learn things like this, learn good traits and qualities that can stick with a person for a long time and make them a important part of society. And I'm not saying that electronics and video games aren't fun or important or anything like that, but we need this aspect inside of things as well. And if it goes away, we don't have it at all. So the benefit is so far beyond any sort of deficit, if there's any there at all, in my opinion. So please help us out with that once again. And I'm going to ask that a lot, is just to help, do your part, and please don't overlook this. So the last note that I want to make, for some of you, this video may not matter. For some of you, you may not watch the whole thing, and it may not apply to you, and that's fine. That's totally fine. I'm not like telling anybody that they have to do anything or not, but I want you to, think about something for just a bit, right? You may not be directly involved in the motorsports world or vehicles or anything whatsoever, and that's fine. But I'm guessing most of y'all that are watching the video have a job, right? That you have worked so hard to make a name for yourself. Think about if one day all that just got taken from you, right? It was gone. You had no job to provide for your family, for yourself. You weren't able to enjoy life, and it was just gone, right? Think about the people who do this for a living. Think about the people that work on your car when you have problems. Or think about the people who, build these cars for a living. Build race car, regular vehicles, boats, the things that you go to the lake on the weekends and love to enjoy and do with your family, right? What if all that was gone, right? There are people that rely on these vehicles, you, every day, to go home and to put that food on their table for those little kids at home, right? We can't lose it. It can't go away. It's gonna affect more people than it's gonna help, right? So please think about that. Please think about those families, and stand up, right? That's what drives our country, is people being there for one another, whether it is in direct relation to what they are involved with or not. Is supporting one another, standing up, doing your part. If you need help, I'm gonna lend you a hand, even if it gives me no benefit. It doesn't matter. You're always in my thoughts and prayers, and I think with the very, very last note that I have, that's the most important. If you take anything away from this and you don't subscribe, you don't share this video, you don't pass this message on, please, at least, number one, most important, is pray, right? Pray for those families. Pray for our sport. Pray for the things that keep us going every day. In my eyes, prayer is the number one support line and number one type of medication that we have access to. So please put your head down, take a couple minutes, and pray for us. Pray for our sports. Pray for the motorsports world. All right, so I'm going to stop that portion of the video real quick here because I've got an update before that video concludes. I'm going to chime in here. I've got some new news for y'all, or some new information, I guess, if you will. Yes, I am sitting in my truck right now in the garage. Just got off work, just got home. You can see I still got mud on my shirt. And today is St. Patty's Day, so it is March. Well, first, the video that you guys were watching was filmed over last weekend, March 14th, and that means today is the 17th. And the reason I rolled that video out then was just because of what I was filming for, and I was filming some of the parts that I just got in. And even though it didn't directly relate to what's going on in the motorsports world, it was still kind of fitting. So, but since then, there's been some new information. I've actually gone back and done some research, and really what I come to find out was it wasn't hard to find information. If you just do a quick Google search, it's all right there, and they're credible sources. I'm actually going to attach some of the links in the description down below, and I've got another link that I'm asking y'all to get on, and I hope, if I can figure it out, it should be posted right here in the bottom of this video right now. But you can get on there and actually get involved, and real quick and easy. And I'm actually going to go through it here in a second. I'm going to try to make this as short as sweet as possible, but all you really got to do is put your name on there, where you're from, or not necessarily where you're from, but your zip code and an email and a phone number, and I think you can select if you want emails and stuff like that. But just right there with that link, you've done your part, you've helped out there, so that's awesome. And it should be in this video right here right now, so you can click the link, and I'm also going to post it in the description as well if it's not working for y'all. But after doing my reading and some research, what I had stated in this video and the video that you've been watching is it's legit, right? So you know, there's some stuff going on right now from an EPA perspective that, you know, they're going after some of the everyday vehicles, if you will. So for example, if I went out and bought, I've been wanting a Z01 Camaro really bad, and if I go to buy one and I want to modify it and I want to get some more horsepower out of it, I'm going to have a hard time doing so. I'm going to have a hard time buying parts. You know, once again, it's just scratching the surface. So what really, in my opinion, it's going to affect right here, right now is the younger people in the industry, the younger people who are into this motorsports world, who are just trying to go get those parts. Really, in my eyes, what they would have to do if they wanted to get involved in racing is that if all this goes through, then they would have to have two vehicles, really, one to drive back and forth to work and to school and stuff like that, and then the other to have fun and race and enjoy, right? So, and I was that kid that, you know, I had, you know, my vehicle or whatever it is, honestly, my everyday vehicle. I always wanted to be the fastest, so, you know, I'd try to modify it in some fashion, whether that be my truck or any other vehicle, my quad or whatever it may be. And, you know, if that were me now, I would have a tough time, right? So where would my interest lie? Would my interest lie in the motorsports world whatsoever? Maybe not, because I wouldn't be educated or I wouldn't be involved in it enough. So once again, just really solidify the fact that it could affect the racing world from all levels at some point. Hopefully nothing happens, but we need your help, and we need you to bare minimum get on there and hit that link and just, you know, include a little information. So I'm gonna go on. I got my phone over here. I'm gonna go pull up some of those links, and I'm just gonna read some of that stuff. Let's see here real quick to share some information that this actually came across the table today. So this came from Auto Metal Direct, so don't judge my reading here. I'm not the best reader in the world, but all racing of stock body cars with modified engines could become federally outlawed. Here's the background. Of all the RPM Act posts you've been seeing, the United States Environment Protection Agency has reinterpreted the Clean Air Act in a way that means that they have control over racing vehicles that are never used on public roads. The EPA therefore believes it is illegal to build any race car from any vehicle that was originally a production car if that means that any part of the emission system has been disabled or modified. If the EPA wins, it means the end of amateur drag racing, circle track racing, road racing, off-road racing, and even drifting. This includes cars, trucks, motorcycles. Even if you don't race, consider how this could devastate the performance aftermarket industry, which I stated earlier. SEMA Show has been fighting this since 2015 and has delayed a ruling, but the problem is back. So this has been around for a while, and you know, you probably potentially, if you've been in the motorsports world or have shown some interest, you may have heard of that a little bit, but it's back, and who knows what the outcome is going to be. Hopefully it'll be a positive outcome. So recognizing the protection of motorsports, SEMA is. You can help by contacting your congressperson to support this bill. The link in my profile contains the easiest way to do so, and that is the same link that I'm sharing with y'all that should be posted on the video right now. And then I'm going to swap over here real quick. I'm not going to read this whole thing, but this is the SEMA Show, the one that you'll see when you pull up that link. I'm just going to read the first paragraph here. The RPM Act is common sense, bipartisan
common sense bipartisan legislation to protect Americans' right to convert street vehicles, cars, trucks, and motorcycles into dedicated race cars and the motorsports parts. Industry's ability to sell products that enable racers to compete. The bill clarifies that it is legal to make emissions-related changes to a street vehicle for the purpose of converting it into a race car unused or used exclusively in competition. It also confirms that it is legal to produce, market, and install racing equipment. So, the life and well-being of a lot of people is what they're trying to help with, really, and it is kind of how I sum all that up. Not to mention the passion that people have and the dedication that people have. And if you scroll down a little bit more, you can read a little bit more on how you can help. So that's that part. Click that link and you should be able to find that information right there. But I'm going to continue to post different stuff on our Facebook page and things like that. So if you want to roll over to the Facebook page, any information that I see, if I see, when I see, and I get the chance to post it on there, I'm going to post it on there. Yeah, I think that's about all that I had. Just remember the importance of this. And, really at the end of the day, I'm not doing this to help my page any, no matter how awesome it would be. I don't care about that right now. I just care about what I love to do and it continuing to be around. So that's why I'm sharing this information, is because I want to try to make an impact. I want to be a part, and I'm hoping that you're along the ride with me and that I can get you to take a part too, because if you take a part from watching this video or any of the information that I share, then I've done my part, and it goes a long ways. So that's all I'm going to say right here on this video, and I'm going to click it back over to the video that I was filming over the weekend to conclude everything. See ya.
If you have questions, please reach out. Once again, I know I've iterated it multiple times, but I'm going to do it one more time. Please share this video, pass the message. Do whatever you can to help us out and to help this sport and to keep it going. So I appreciate you for listening to this. Until next time, God bless.